Hi everyone! In today's video we're going to be looking at some new releases which are a mixture of fall and winter newness as well as some holiday releases, so watch on! I've been busy recruiting for this video because Hot Santa, as regular viewers will know, doesn't enjoy appearing in a video which doesn't feature only holiday releases. However, it's amazing what's out there. There are people outside with a different skill set perhaps, or maybe they bring a little bit more energy or, dare I say it, youth to the role. So we're not going to go hungry and we're not going to be spiritually lacking in somebody who could perhaps assist us or maybe even just maybe carry our bags for us after we've been shopping, because it is quite arduous. You know, an eyeshadow quad these days, it can be quite a demanding thing to carry, so don't worry, I've got you covered. Let's go on to the first release. Now, you will have seen that Natasha Denona has got two new palettes. I was not excited once I saw them as much as I thought I would be, because partly in the lighter palette, because of the lack of shimmers, and in the darker palette it just seemed a bit too dark for me, in the sense that I wanted, for me anyway, some lighter shades to kind of offset so there'd be sort of more of a contrast. So I am a bit unexcited by these. Now, Makeup Craze, as ever, has shed some interesting light on these palettes, and I wanted to share them with you, share with you these pictures, not least because it may help you decide as to whether, you know, these new Natasha Denona palettes are something that you must have, or maybe you might want to wait. As you can see, there are some similarities with palettes that you may already have, not least the Makeup by Mario Master Mattes, perhaps, the Bieber palette, which I have, but I found slightly dull, and so I didn't wear it. And I was hoping these would be a more interesting version of the Bieber palette, but actually, even though we've got some new formulas, I think maybe for me anyway, they wouldn't work. However, as you can see, what she's done is illustrate that actually they are quite similar, possibly to palettes that you already have. And interestingly, there's an interesting comparison, isn't there, with the new Byredo palette, which I have yet to buy because, again, I was a little bit underwhelmed when I swatched it. So I don't know, the jury's out for me. Again, I thought I'd be really excited. Now, Makeup Craze does tell us that Natasha Denona is going to be mixing things up in 2026. And that these two palettes are basically the first two of a series to come. I thought that was interesting information and I'm quite excited. However, 2026 still seems quite far away. But what doesn't seem far away, as we know, is the holiday season. Look at what Pat McGrath is tempting us with and showing us a little bit of ankle, isn't she? Now, I don't want to turn this into Soapgate, which was the Prada soap, which then became a hand cream. I think we can safely say this isn't a soap. And I think we can probably safely say it's not a hand cream either. Is it a lovely, golden, shimmery slurry, giving us perhaps the promise of an eyeshadow palette for the holiday season? I really hope it is, because I'm here for it. I want to look shimmery and sparkly this holiday season, as I do most holiday seasons, partly because if things get too much, it means that I can climb up to the top of the Christmas tree and be the Christmas fairy and basically stay there until the 2nd of January when it's all over and I can relax. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think it could be an eyeshadow? I think there's a very good chance. I have no other information at the time of filming, but I just wanted to kind of share my hope with you, because what is the holiday season, if anything, if it's not all about hope? What do you think? I've got some photographs here of Charlotte Tilbury's holiday collection, and these are some of the coffrets for us to enjoy gifting. We've got, in the first instance, it looks like some kind of little makeup bag with some brushes inside. They look minis, don't they, to me? I don't know whether they do to you. And then we've got a couple of fragrance coffrets. One is Joyphoria and the other one is it more sex? Yeah, I'm not sort of a big fan of those fragrances, but I think they're probably pretty popular, and the packaging is really lovely. Then we've got a little box in the shape of lips with 3 lipsticks. I don't have shades, frustratingly, at this point, but just it at least gives you a heads up of what's to come. And then we've got what I think looks like a particularly nice gift box in the beautiful, it just looks lovely. It looks like it's material. I don't know whether it is or whether that's plastic, but it just does look very nice. It's got that ruching, which is lovely. And inside, it looks like there's quite a lot in there to enjoy. We've got, it looks like a couple of quads, eyeshadow quads, maybe a blusher or it looks like a blusher to me, but it may be a powder, another eyeshadow, and then what have we got? We've definitely got a lip pencil and a lip gloss, it looks to me, if I look at the reflection in the mirror, and then a couple of blushes and maybe a bronzer, either a blusher and a bronzer, or one or both, or highlighters, but that looks good. Then we've got a smaller heart-shaped coffret as well. Lipstick, it looks like a lipstick. That looks like the mascara to me, and a lip pencil, but I might be wrong. What do you think? As well as another eyeshadow as well. And there we have sort of a little sort of montage, really, of everything, including the face palette, which I know I've covered a couple of times. We still don't have swatches, but even so, that tells us things are hotting up. So we still don't know when to expect these, but, you know, Charlotte Tilbury is always worth the wait, so I think that's probably going to be worth it. Now, in contrast to Charlotte Tilbury, we've got a coffret from Tower 28. Now, it's a particularly nice gift box which covers cheeks and lips. Now, they've teamed up with the drink Poppi, which I had not heard of, so I had to look it up. I have become educated in the process. And here we have a limited edition holiday collab, and there are 2 items. There's Cranberry Fizz, which is full-size Get Set powder blush for a juicy pop of colour. And doesn't the model look like she's having a great time wearing this blush? It's so nice. So often the models look moody to me, and I just kind of think, oh, come on, you know. Anyway, and then there's also Cranberry Frost, our cult fave Shine On Lip Jelly in a frosty berry glaze. Looks really good, actually, I think. Do I have a price? I don't have a price, only for the holidays and while stocks last. So this is the collab with Poppi. Now, you may or may not know this. It's a prebiotic soda brand that was just bought by PepsiCo for $1.95 billion. There's a lot of money in this. And what's extraordinary is that Poppi has only been around 10 years, so that apparently is an awful lot of money for a firm that is quite so young. So that gives us all hope, doesn't it? Anyway, on to the next thing. Now, NYX has got something interesting. Now, I have bought on and off bits and pieces from NYX. I haven't bought recently. However, I know it is immensely popular across the board with all ages and all types of makeup lovers. So let me tell you, hit me with your faves from NYX, because I'm very happy to go and buy it and try it out. I really am, because, you know, I think it's one of those brands that I've kind of forget about, and, you know, so on. However, look at this. I'm not going to forget about this in a hurry. Isn't this fun? This is just, I think, absolutely delightful. It really is. It just made me laugh. I had to include it because, you know, we're going to be giving gifts to all sorts of ages and, you know, people who are young or young at heart, or even just up for the laugh. Why not? I know I am. Anyway, look at this. This is great. Glowscope tells us sugar, spice, and everything glam. I like what she did there. The new NYX holiday collection is here, wrapped in the cutest gingerbread packaging and packed with bold colours, glossy lips, and epic liner looks. From sweet lippy sets to candy-inspired eyeliners, it's a holiday treat you won't want to miss. And honestly, who is going to contradict her on this one? They look like such fun. They really do. And I don't think anybody, I don't think anybody would be disappointed to get some of this in their stocking. It's just a lot of fun, isn't it? I really think so. I'd just like to quickly show you 2 fragrance mists from Victoria's Secret, because this may be useful for gifting for you. There are 2. There is the Whipped Marshmallow Dream, which is a soft, dreamy blend of whipped marshmallow, jasmine blossom, and cozy cashmere woods. It's sweet, fluffy and warm, like a hug in a bottle. There's also Candied Berry Wonderland. Dive into a juicy fantasy of candied berries, jeweled pomegranate and prismatic musk. Sparkling, fruity and totally addictive. Perfect for layering, gifting or treating yourself this holiday season. That's worth knowing about. And now on to some newness from Dior. We've got the Dior Advent Calendar. We have 24 drawers, so that's great. No skimping there. And there are fragrance favourites like J'adore, Miss Dior, Sauvage and Dior Homme. So it's unisex. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. Anyway, there are makeup icons including Rouge Dior 999, Lip Glow, Lip Tint and Rosy Glow. And then there are prestige skincare must-haves for the ultimate pamper. And there's also a Dior exclusive Piste aux Étoiles candle and elegant ornaments for your tree. That's rather nice. This isn't just an advent calendar. It's 24 days of Dior couture beauty. Excellent. Get ready to unwrap luxury. I think there looks like quite a bit of interesting stuff in there. And also I love the white and gold. I do think they've nailed a sort of a classy Christmas look in that. I do think that. So that's very good, isn't it? But that's not all. Now we have more details of the lovely red lipstick. Now if you look at the bullet, look what they've done. The stars are on the bullet itself. Very, very lovely. They have done this before. It was a few years ago. I will put a picture up in this, but it is rather nice and it does make it more special, doesn't it? Especially if you're going to give it as a gift. I mean, it's different if we buy it for ourselves. We kind of, you know, in a way you know what to expect. But for somebody opening it on Christmas Day or over the holidays, Thanksgiving, whatever it is, and they kind of just, you know, wind up the bullet, that just makes it super special, doesn't it? And it does look like it's a rather nice shade. So, you know, I am kind of here for it. We also have the double-ended lip product that I featured in my last holiday leaks video. And we did all wonder, didn't we? But I didn't have any sort of official confirmation, so I don't sort of like to speculate too much, although that didn't stop me with Pat McGrath, did it? No. Anyway, so now we know that this product is indeed dual-ended and is not unlike, actually, the Chanel Le Rouge Ultra Tenue, in that it looks like there's a pigmented shade and then on top some kind of gloss and seal. So hopefully it's as good and as long-lasting a product as the Chanel. What makes me a bit more hopeful is I think the shades here, for me anyway, are more attractive than the Chanel ones. But let's have a look. We've got sort of before and afters here, in that we've got just the pigmented side of the pigmented shade, and then we've also got it featured with the gloss on top. I really like these shades. They feel so easy to use and so, yeah, just easy to use, usable, you know. And even the deeper ones, like the lovely kind of, not burgundy, but more sort of more wine colour and the deeper brown, they just look really lovely. We've got some shade names here. We've got Spectacular Nude, which I really like the look of. I like all of them. Illusionist. Then we've got Acrobat and Carousel. Nice names. And then we've got a little bit of video footage here. But anyway, we have somebody with rather spectacular nails actually showing us the shades. They do look lovely, and that pigment looks good and proper, doesn't it? Yes, unlike a lot of Dior, they haven't skimped on the pigment here, so that's good. Oh, that was a bit barbed of me. That was not in the holiday spirit, was it? Which is, you know, yeah, no, that's not good. Oh, but I do like this one. These are very nice. I don't know, are you excited by these? I do like them, but I do rather feel that maybe I don't know, maybe I'm kind of relieved to have something from Dior that I can be really excited about in a lip product, because the recent lip products, and I can't remember the name of them, but they are in a kind of slim case. I am underwhelmed by the shades, and I keep kind of stalking the counter and still being disappointed every time I swatch, whereas these look very exciting, and I do like the packaging and the component. And now on to some newness from Gisou. Now this is a brand I've not tried. I've kind of looked at it in Sephora and never gone for it. Should I? Is this something that I should be going for? Am I missing out? Because let me tell you, when I look at these shades of this new product, I want all of them. I think they are absolutely lovely, but I don't know what the quality's like. I know they're popular, so I assume they're good. But look at this. We've got milky mocha, sticky toffee, and vanilla glaze. So we've got a mocha brown, a warm nude, and a pastel pink. They just look lovely, and look at these photos. I like the way they've bothered to kind of show us different skin tones, although they do look a bit AI, don't they? They look like those AI dolls that I sometimes see on the news in AI conferences in Korea or Taiwan or somewhere, where it's quite striking and slightly creepy how they really can make such a lifelike doll to attend to their every whim. But anyway, it does look a bit like that, but that hasn't put me off, you see. Yeah, because I don't attend to everybody's whims, so that may surprise you. So I don't feel a lip gloss is going to have that effect on me. But anyway, I'm just saying I like all three of the shades. What do you think? Are these of interest, and do you use them? They are deliciously scented. I really hope they're not, you know, fragranced with cake and kind of sweet things. I don't like that. But anyway, no stickiness, glossy shine, intense hydration, and 97% naturally derived formula, unlike the AI dolls. Anyway, I thought they were rather lovely. Trend Mood tells us this is a lip oil intensely hydrating for lips and locks in moisture with a high shine and a non-sticky finish. $28. I'm quite tempted by these, I must say. Now, on to a little bit of Gucci. I don't know whether this is going to be of interest, but I wanted to include it just in case. Iris Beauty tells us about this blurring and mattifying tinted powder. It comes in 10 shades. Enriched with black rose oil, the lightweight formula can be layered for sheer to medium coverage. Release date is to be announced. I tried the cushion foundation from Gucci and it was in the end too light, and when I went back to buy a deeper shade, they didn't really have a shade for me, which I thought was pretty poor. So I'm slightly skeptical about the shades as shown here on these, again, computer generated images. Clearly they're computer generated. In fact, they're so computer generated that the deepest hand and the lightest hand doesn't actually have a mirror on. So I just find that a bit weird and a bit odd. I don't know. Am I missing something? Is it a different product? I don't think so. Anyway, let's see. I thought that was it may well be of interest to somebody, so that was worth flagging up. And now on to Lancome, who are about to release a concealer and a highlighter double-ended product. I think this looks interesting. Now, Lancome's got good form for decent shade ranges, and I hope we're not disappointed in this either. We have got 4 shades that they've given us. I don't know whether that's only 4 shades, but let's see. There's pink lilac, there's natural light, there's light beige and light warm. In other words, they're all a bit too light. So I kind of think if this is coming worldwide, that's obviously not good enough. If it's only the Asian market, then you know that's a different stall, isn't it? It's a different market. But I am a bit surprised in that we've got a concealer and a highlighter, and those concealers are just not going to be good enough for everybody by any means. It does look like an interesting product though, doesn't it? I mean, we are told that the concealer effectively conceals redness, pigmentation, dark circles under the eyes, redness around the nose, and acne marks. Yeah, but not for every skin tone by any means. Then the highlighter adds volume and a natural glow to the face, as if coming from within. Yes, I don't know. I thought it was worth flagging up, but I really rather hope that there's more of a shade range than that, because Lancome normally does quite well with that. Now, Iris Beauty has shared with us the newness that's coming from Nars, and I think it's rather exciting. Nars is collaborating with a couture brand called Iris Van Herpen. Now, this is a Dutch designer. I actually had to look her up. I'm not, as you know, I'm not really a fashion person. So you may well know this, but I didn't. I had to look her up and she looks absolutely extraordinary. She has done the most beautiful, ethereal, both ethereal and kind of structurally interesting designs. And in fact, this kind of collaboration has been very much conceived from her Paris Fashion Week designs. But as you take a look, let me tell you a little bit about this designer. Her aesthetic is all about, or has been hitherto, all about melting haute couture with art. So that during Paris Fashion Week, I've got it written down here because I wanted to tell you, I thought you might find this interesting. Some of her designs were presented as living artwork. We may be able to put a couple of the pictures up if I can find them. And these were the models wearing her couture designs, kind of elevated on a wall, expressing her visual artistry. She feels this helped her audience consider their understanding of themselves in the world. Now, I didn't understand anything of what I've just said, but what I do understand is how beautiful these palettes are. Look at these, they're absolutely lovely. So they include the light reflecting prismatic highlighting powder, which was released in 2022 and sold out, and it's basically a re-release. The explicit lipstick in 829A Blame, it's a satin finish. The Afterglow Lip Shine Liquid Lipstick in limited edition 271A Intergalactic. And the Aura Illuminating Face and Body Powder, which can be used on the face, the décolleté, the shoulders and the legs in 05098 Skyrocket. Everything's going to be released in October, which is quite soon. Now, what I find interesting is when we look at this, let's have a look. When we look at the eyeshadows, I am particularly interested in these. Look at these shades. Aren't they lovely? I'll tell you what I like about these palettes. I do like this in the Nars range. These little quads are so useful and so carefully curated, I find, more often than not. This kind of light blue is so much a trend that's coming for winter. But what I like about it is you've got these kind of neutral shades as well. So you can kind of mix and match with the pale pink and the pale blue. So yeah, I really like this. I find this a very kind of low commitment to this kind of colour story. So I will really want to pick this up, I feel. So I don't know about what that is that looks to me like something that's cushiony, but I may be wrong. I don't know. In that circular packaging, is that no, that's not the highlight, that's not the powder. That looks like a different product. I don't know. Let me know if you know, because it may well be, if you've used a lot of the Nars winter collections over the years, that this is also a re-release. But also, I just want to draw your attention to the face palette, because again, I think this is very, very usable. I do like their winter packaging, by the way. Let's have a look. We've got some sort of old favourites, really, of sort of blushers and highlighters. In the middle here, we've got Impulse, which is a new shade, which is, I say it's not in the middle, sorry. In the actual palette, it's the top right. It's the middle of the swatches. So we've got Impulse, which is a new shade, and then we've got Zen, that's also a new shade. That's an interesting juxtaposition, isn't it? Because it's the opposite of Zen, isn't it? Impulse. That's the whole point, that you're very centered and controlled. I'm not very Zen very often. Anyway, then we have Orgasm and Sex Fantasy at the bottom. And then we also have on the top left and the top middle, we've got Please Me and we've got Deep Throat. And I rather feel it's at this point that Hot Santa is regretting not turning up for this video, but there you go, he's missed out. Is anyone getting bored of these names, or is it just me? I don't know, I just feel I don't find them amusing or interesting. I know they're classics, but I do wonder if I'm the only one. I think I probably am the only one. I think I've asked that before and nobody responded, so I think actually everybody still thinks they're good, and it's just me. Maybe I'm getting too long in the tooth for this, you know, like when policemen start getting young, you know, maybe that's just a sign of old age. At any rate, lots of newness from Nars, and I hope you're as excited the way I am, because I really like that eyeshadow quad. That is definitely of interest to me. Now, if we go on to the almost penultimate item I want to talk to you about, and that is Fenty. Now, Fenty Beauty has got something that I think you will recognise. I'm not a Fenty fan, and I do rather wonder whether I've kind of missed the boat on Fenty and whether it's a bit too late for me to get excited about it. I don't know. Let me know what I should be trying, if anything. So as you can see from these photos from Glow Scope, there's an awful lot coming for, is it for Christmas actually, or is it winter time? I don't know whether I've got information here. Oh, actually I do. It is all holiday newness by the looks of things. So let me read it to you. Rihanna's got your gift list covered with the ultimate Christmas 2025 drop from Fenty Beauty and Fenty Skin. So two sets. Fenty Beauty, we've got the Glossy Pos 8 holiday ready lips in every shade. We've got Fenty Finest mini must-haves for major glam. We've got lined and luminized, lip defining and high shine glow combo. And we've got glow and extra, all the glow, none of the effort. Are these exciting to you? I do wonder. Do let me know, and do let me know what I'm missing from Fenty, because I do know it's immensely popular. So until she was surpassed by Taylor Swift, Rihanna was the most wealthy woman in the music industry, basically because of Fenty Beauty and her, it's a lingerie, is it lingerie or is it athleisure wear? But Savage Fenty. So she was worth, her net worth was $1.4 billion. And because Fenty Beauty and her lingerie, as I think it is, business has taken a bit of a hit in the last year, the poor girl is down to her final $1 billion. So thoughts and prayers, Rihanna. Thoughts and prayers. That's a lot of lip gloss you've got to sell to get to that. So clearly I am missing out, because young Rihanna did not make that kind of money because of people like me saying, oh, I'm not sure. Anyway, there's also Fenty Skin that has some newness for the holiday season. We have got the Lil Butter Drops travel size hydration for on-the-go glow. We've got chocolate treats, deliciously rich skin treats, and we've also got the Butter Drop Cream 200ml Vanilla Dream, your skin's holiday dessert. So there's an awful lot of gift giving there. Are you going to be giving the gift of Fenty this holiday season? Let me know. And as I said, let me know what I'm missing out on, because I'm sure it is the case that I'm undoubtedly missing out. Now, that concludes our newness in this video, apart from something that I wanted to share with you. What do you think it could be? If you've watched my previous holiday video, then you will know that right at the end, I gave you for your consideration a particular item which I like to call yeast chic. Do you remember this? Pharrell Williams designed this lovely toast bag. Now, I know we all considered it, and some of you I know really, really wanted it, and who can blame you? Because what kind of a class act is this? Highly desirable, chic and effortless, really, you know? Lovely, very desirable. But I did feel that it was in my kind of remit, and it would be irresponsible of me not to give you another option perhaps to consider. So to that end, I would like you to consider reptile couture in the form of the turtle wearable wallet. Come on, it makes so much sense, doesn't it? There has been a gap in my life, and I have kind of felt it in a kind of existential way, and now I know how I'm going to fill it. Come on, isn't it lovely? Let's also consider the model, who I think should be congratulated upon, because he has found the one profession, I feel, where you get paid the big bucks to look bored. In my working life, every time I looked bored, it didn't really augur well for my position in that particular role or indeed in my productivity. And yet it seems that modelling is the pinnacle, really, the pinnacle profession where you get paid the big bucks, don't you? So good on him, really, good on him. So what do we think of this? Do we find it, you know, desirable? I don't know. I just want to remind you that turtles live in water. They are aquatic animals, unlike tortoises, which are land animals, as we know from all that David Attenborough we may or may not have watched. So now I want to know, is it waterproof? Could I go diving in this bag so I look sort of, you know, stylish and all the sharks admire me? I don't know, but I do want to know whether this is a bag that you want to buy. Now, it's already out. It was released on the 11th of September. So, you know, maybe you've already got it. The thing I should tell you is the price. It's a mere snip at 2,600 euros. So really affordable stocking filler there. Go LVMH. Excellent. In fact, it's actually Louis Vuitton, isn't it? It's not just LVMH. And bear in mind that it is Rihanna's collaboration with LVMH that has created the big bucks for her. I don't think she's bored by that at all. So clearly they are doing something right, because they're tempting us with wonderful lip glosses and magnificent, magnificent small leather goods. Thank you so much for joining me. I really, really appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.